My name's Coleen. I've been surviving lung cancer now for a little bit over 3 years. I was working as a midwife at the time, and my daughter was doing her anaesthetics training. She'd already qualified as a doctor. My daughter had come over to visit, and I had a lump in my neck, and that was all. There was nothing else at all, and I thought it was a gland that was up. And I said to her, "Do you think I have an infection because I have this gland up in my neck? But it's only one side." Well, Tamsin felt it, and she said, "We need a CAT scan." And within 2 days I was diagnosed. I was a smoker. I'd given up smoking 14 years before my diagnosis, so I really thought I was safe. So now I'm 14, 15, 16, 17 and a bit years since I smoked a cigarette. But if anyone says, "What sort of cancer have you got?" and I say lung cancer, almost the first thing they say is, "Oh, do you smoke?" So there is a big stigma associated with smoking. The stage of my cancer was 3B. It was in the top of the right lung. It was in the neck, that one little nodule I could feel. It was in the mediastinum, and it was partly wrapped around the vena cava. The doctors told me quite frankly that my life expectancy with treatment was 14 months and without was 12 months. Straight away I was thinking, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to be the one that they write about in the medical journals. Well, my children, when I was first diagnosed, they went on the computer. They went on the internet and they found out all sorts of things about cancer that I didn't. I wouldn't even read my CAT scan result. I didn't want to know. I felt that if I read every bad statistic and if I read how bad my own situation was, I would find it hard to be positive. Hi, this is my inspiration board. I cleared this notice board when I was first diagnosed, put a label up saying my inspiration board, and I was going to kick ass. And then as cards and positive messages came, I pinned them up, and there's only positive things on here. The chemotherapy and radiotherapy had to be concurrent, so I had to wait. It was virtually a month from my diagnostic CAT scan to my first treatment, and that was a very, very hard month because you feel you're sitting there doing nothing and you want to be fighting this. I was very lucky with the chemo. They gave me drugs to stop nausea, but I don't usually suffer from nausea anyway, so I had very little problem with the chemo. The radiation, I thought it was an absolute doddle to start with, and after about 3 weeks I was starting to feel the effect of radiation burns, and by 5 weeks I couldn't swallow, and that went on for quite a while. Well, my daughter got married. She planned the wedding because she wanted me at the wedding, and at that stage we didn't know how I was going to go. The wedding at one time had been planned for in my hospital room because they didn't even know if I was going to be going home from hospital. And then I must have turned a corner because they decided they would let me out on day release. No, it was a wonderful day, and I'm so grateful to the nurses and the doctors. One of my doctors said, "You are going to go to this wedding even if I have to come with you," which I thought was wonderful. I had 3 different sorts of chemo. My medical oncologist said he would hit it hard depending on how I coped with it, and I coped well enough that he was able to give me the full amount of chemo that he had planned. The main tumours shrank to, they became flat, that there wasn't much left at all. And I can't remember when, but I went one time and I got the magic words, "There's no evidence of disease," which is the outcome that everybody hopes for. We probably had champagne that day. My oncologist said to me, "You've got to start learning to live with cancer. Stop dying from cancer and start living with cancer." And that's what I've tried to do. Well, other than the wedding, we've had some wonderful family holidays. We've been to America and on a Rocky Mountaineer train trip across the Canadian Rockies, and on a cruise from Alaska to Vancouver. And then my husband and I went for a trip to New Zealand, which was just wonderful. So it's been over 2 years, 2.5 years since I've had any treatment at all. I've got a very, very supportive family. I've got wonderful friends, and I've had an awful lot of support from them. I try and keep fit, and I sort of really watch my health. I've got a wonderful family to live for. I have a new grandchild due within the next 2 weeks, which is something that I never, at the beginning, thought I would be around to see. I'm hoping for a long life.